Hello, good morning, everyone. This is Tuesday Talks at 10:30. This is Connecting to Spirit with Stacy. My name is Stacy Niedenthal. I'll just wait a few minutes for everyone to come on. Come on in, come on in. Hello. Good morning. Let me know you're here. I'm not seeing it yet, but let me know that you're here. Say hi. There we go. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Put this here so I can see comments. So it is Tuesday Talks at 10:30. My name is Stacy Niedenthal. This is Connecting to Spirit with Stacy. This is not an angel card reading. This is not a live reading at all. What this is every Tuesday at 10:30, I come to you and we talk about things that maybe you're not comfortable talking with other people about. We talk about manifestation, which is what we're going to talk about today, death and dying. We talk about grief. We talk about how to live your best life, how to get unstuck, basically. I'm just trying to move things around here so I can see comments. Let me just go back to this. Okay. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So I always like to set my intentions before I start so you know who I am and what I'm about. My name is Stacy. I'm a child of God, spiritual healer, evidential medium, and a child of God. And I come to you every Tuesday and we talk about different things like we said. But I have the ability to channel spirit using love and light for my higher good and the higher good of those that God puts in my path. I'm not the medium that says I see death all around you and you're going to be dead in 10 days. My gift, my prayer is that God, spirit, angels bring in the most loving message to help your spirit heal. When you come and you sit in front of me, this is part of the intention that you hear so that you understand how I work as a medium, as an evidential medium. All mediums have different modalities. They have different strengths, but my prayer is always healing. So when we get together on Tuesdays, we talk about other things. And today we're going to talk about manifesting. And the reason that we're talking about manifesting today is what I do, what I try to do it once a day, once a week is more like what I do. I pull a card from the deck, Swords of Light Oracle, and it is an Archangel Michael deck, and it's by Radley Valentine. And I like to pull a card, see what Archangel Michael is telling me to do or things to think about, and then that's what I meditate on that day or that week. And I try to bring that in, I try to bring that in to my daily thought process so that if my thoughts go awry, I come back to that. So today we're going to talk about manifesting. And I pulled a card, and this is the card that I pulled. It says, manifest what you need. Express gratitude as if your plans have already come to pass. Trust that your angels are bringing the assistance that you need. With this card, we're going to talk about how to manifest, why to manifest. So, what is manifesting? Manifesting is basically a public display of feelings and actions of things that you believe need to happen in your life. And you're believing that they are happening with your actions and the emotions that you're putting behind it. So you're speaking them in truth. You are saying, this is what I am bringing upon myself. This is what I want to come in. Without a question in my mind, this is what I know is going to happen. So if you think about the verse in the Bible that says, ask and you shall receive, knock and the door will be answered. It's believing it so that it will happen. It's knocking on that door and expecting opportunities to show up, okay? So you can manifest different opportunities, job offers, relationships, you want to live in a home, your budget, things like that. You can manifest it by putting it into your mind and putting it out into the universe and having a plan. So when you manifest obstacles out of your way, you have to get the ball rolling. You have to say, how can I do this? And what can I do to make this happen? So the things that you don't want to do is you don't want to stop, or you want to stop talking badly about yourself or the situation. You know, you're focusing on the wrong thing. If you constantly talk about the negative things that are in your life, or you constantly talk badly about yourself, you're putting energy into the negative aspect of it instead of putting positivity into the action and the emotions that you're going to have. You want to stop overanalyzing the event. Have faith in your mental capacity and your mental stability. Be a work in progress instead of feeling defeated all the time. These are things that you want to stop doing, overanalyzing. Overanalyzing causes worry. Worry is not faith. Number 3, if you feel like your mind is spinning out of control because you have all these things that need to be done, stop for a minute, pause, rethink, and then move forward. So have you ever I had this just the other day. I felt so overwhelmed with a lot of different things that I had to get done during the day. And I stopped for a minute and said, okay, what's the most important thing that I need to get done today? And I made a plan and action to get that finished. Number 4, tell yourself that the opinions of others will only make your decision better, instead of the opinions of others will stop me from doing something. We are trained for some reason to be afraid of failure, but we're also afraid of success. And we worry so much about what other people will think and say about what we're doing that we need to change our thought process and say that the opinions of others will make us stronger. Tell me that I can't do it and watch me do it. Build yourself up with people who will help you instead of stop you. Number 5, don't compare yourself to others. When you compare your successes to other people's successes, it tends to give you that defeated feeling already. If someone has already done what you're planning on doing, it could make you feel less important. Instead, look at what they've done and say, if they can do it, so can I. So what to do instead? Practice gratitude and be of service to others. Every day be thankful for something. And we talk about this all the time. Have that attitude of gratitude. I wish I would have copywritten that little quote. But if you're positive about things, things will happen. If you're grateful for the small things, then the bigger things will come. And be of service to others. And when you are of service to others, do not brag about it. Do not say, this is what I did. I did this. Oh, I did this, so I should receive this. No, just do it silently because that's who you are. Change the way you talk. Take the negative words out. Instead of saying, well, maybe if someday this happens, say, when this happens, this is what I'm going to do. And focus on the positive parts of it happening. 3, take responsibility for your life. Keep what you need, discard what you don't. We all have learning lessons every single day. So we can either have regrets on how we didn't respond correctly, or we can say, you know what, I'm not going to respond that way again. Take responsibility for your actions. It's nobody else's fault where you're at right now. If you allow it to be someone else's fault, you're going to be stuck in that. So take responsibility in where you're at right now. And things happen, and I understand different situations happen, but you can change that generational curse, for lack of a better word. So if you didn't grow up in a loving household, that doesn't mean that you're not going to be loving. That means you need to say, this is what I don't want to do. Here's how I wish I would have been treated. So this is how I'm going to treat others. So hold on to the things that help you and discard the things that don't help you. Number 4, believe that good things happen every day. Invite abundance in. Invite good things for yourself. Believe that you deserve good things. And when we talk about manifesting, you know, it's things that your heart pulls you towards. It's the things that you feel like you absolutely and positively need to do, need to have come into your life. You know, whether, let's say you're not unemployed right now, but you have bills that need to be paid, you have vacation you want to go on, you have medicine that you need to buy. Manifest the job that will give you the right amount of money so that you can live in the way that you need to live. Number 6, meditate and visualize what you're manifesting. Okay, so I'll give you an example. So January and February is always slow with the shop, Hip Gypsy Emporium. I got to put that little plug in. And in the morning or at night before the shop opens, I would, okay, I'm not sure if I just lost my signal or not. Hopefully I did not. I would visualize cars pulling into the driveway at the shop, 2 people getting out of the car. Manifest this, and I would allow this to be what I believed was going to happen. And we would have good days when I would do that. So it's allowing yourself to manifest, to visualize how it looks, how it feels, and what the outcome is going to be. So that's how I would focus on what I wanted to happen, how it would look in my mind. Number 7, sometimes you need to get uncomfortable with a situation to find the solution. You can't always play it safe and expect things to appear. So if you do nothing, nothing will happen. So you have to put action behind it. And maybe it is outside of your comfort zone to have a conversation with someone. But if you want a solution resolved, you need to have that conversation. So get uncomfortable with being comfortable. Things that, like I said, if this is just the way it's always been, you know, there's that saying that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, maybe it's not completely broke, but maybe it doesn't feel right in your energy, in your spirit. So you need to make some changes. And there might be some fear behind it that if I change how I do something, maybe it will be wrong. But if you manifest it to be right, then it will be the right thing. Number 8, make a plan of actions that make you feel happy, that raise your vibration. Talking positively, surrounding yourself in things that you like, maybe going for a walk, but you're going to make a plan of action of activities that you're going to do. Plan it out. Here's what I'm seeing. You know, when I visualize the shop being full or I visualize people coming in, I might do a live and walk around the shop and show you what's there. I may place in one of the Chambersburg sites, you know, Hip Gypsy Emporium is open today from this time to this time. New products constantly coming in with pictures of the products. You know, if I want someone, it's that invitation. So if you're having a party and you do not invite anyone and you do not have any food and you don't have your house ready, it's not going to be a very good party. So it's making plans and actions that make you feel happy, that make you feel like you're stepping forward. Number 9, trim the fat. If you are surrounded by negative people who don't believe in you, it's time to get new people. Trim the fat. You don't need that. You really don't. And I understand some people have been friends for years and years and years, but are they lifting you up or are they tearing you down? And also remember, like attracts like. So if you're not that type of friend for someone else, it's time for you to be that type of friend so that you attract someone who's lifting you up. Number 10, dream and manifest. It's one and the same thing. You know, if time and money were no objects, what would you be doing right now? How would it feel? What do you want? Then manifest it. So, what do you want to manifest? A new job, a new relationship. Get a clear vision. You know, pinpoint it. How would it feel to have, and then whatever it is. Think about these things. What would it look like to have? So how can I visualize it? Believe that there's always a way to receive whatever you're manifesting. Believe that you deserve whatever you're manifesting. Tell yourself that you're going to do the work to receive it. It's not just going to come. It's not a genie in the bottle that you just need to rub the bottle and all of a sudden it appears. You need to do the work to receive it. Talk as though you already have it. You know, when I receive this new job, I will be able to pay my car off. I will be able to have electric, feed my children. But what will it look like? Practice letting go of doubt. You know, sometimes you have to keep your dreams to yourself for a bit until you get together with how it looks. There's times in the shop where we're moving things around and, you know, something will come in and Heidi will say to me, where do you want this? I'm like, I have to visualize it. Just give me a second, you know, or, you know, give me a little bit of time and we'll get it out. We'll price it. And then I'll start to visualize where it needs to be because everything needs to tell a story when it's in the shop. It has to be shoppable. You have to be able to understand that. Well, we're that exact same way. So sometimes you need to keep your manifestations to yourself until you can truly visualize it, until you truly believe that it is going to be true, that it will happen for you. And then create such a thought process in your head that there is absolutely no way that this can't happen. Create a manifestation board or a vision board and put it up in a room that you pass every day. You know, put sticky notes around with mantras and affirmations about you succeeding with this. Visualize, to me, visualization is very helpful. If I can visualize it, I know it's going to happen. If I can't visualize it and visualize the steps, I have to take a few moments or a few days or a few weeks or a few months, however you want to look at it, to actually see it, to visualize it. So mantras and affirmations. I can succeed. Okay? I can live my best life ever. And it's repeating these every day. I used to have a client that would say to me, her mantra every day is, today is going to be my best life ever. Today's going to be the best day ever. And it is believing that. And then she would tell me if she would get bunched up about something, she would pause for a minute and say, you know what? If I get bunched up, it's not going to be the best day ever. And she changed her thought process. And in changing her thought process, look at all the gratitude and all the good things that came to her because that was where her mindset was. Speak your word. Be a person of your word. If you say it's going to be a good day, it's going to be a good day. If you say it's going to be a crap day, it's going to be a crap day. If you get up in the morning and you go, oh God, it's Monday, you've already blown your whole day. It's Monday. It's a new day. It's a new week, new experiences, new happenings. Here's what I'm seeing is going to happen today. So before you go to bed at night, think about what you're manifesting. Think about your dreams. Meditate on those. And then you will dream about them as well. And you'll get signs and signals from your guides, from your angels of where you need to proceed next. Pray and meditate. Ask for direction. We don't have all the answers all the time. You know, you can see the end result, but how do I get there? Pray and meditate. Ask for direction. Surround yourself in positivity. Boy, I don't like jam this down your throat all the time, do I? So how do you surround yourself in positivity? The books that you read, the music that you listen to, the TV shows that you watch, the people that you associate with, the things that you talk about and read about on social media. Try to keep them in a positive light. Try to never say never. There's always possibilities. Now, there are things that you need to never say never about. You understand what I'm talking about. You know, I don't want you to say, you know, oh, well, I watched this medium on Connecting to Spirit with Stacy, and she said, never say that I'm not entitled to $1 million. I'm entitled, right? You're not entitled. You need to work for it. So there are things that you have to say never. You know the difference between right and wrong. But when it comes to building your hopes and your dreams, never say never. Always say it's possible. When this happens for me, I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to do the work. Walk the walk basically means trust that the universe has your back. Trust that your angels are putting things in place for you at this particular time. Trust that God has a plan for you. And all God wants is for you to be fruitful, for you to be successful, for you to see a good life, for you to have a good life, for you to do things for other people, to be of service to others. If you see someone that needs something and you have it, and you feel drawn to give it to them, give it to them. What a blessing that will be for them. You're creating a vision for your future. You're also creating a vision for the future that other people are seeing. So when my kids, when my grandkids see me manifest something, they realize that Mom worked hard for this. My husband is the biggest manifester and the greatest manifester in the world. I remember years ago when our kids were little, we had this old house. Story time. We had this old house and it was oil heat. We didn't have a whole lot of money raising 3 kids. It was a big old house with little to no insulation. You know, the great big windows that were not double paned. And oil heat was very expensive. And I remember my husband saying to me, I'm going to get us a pellet stove. And I thought to myself, pellet stoves are expensive. I don't know if we can afford that. And he said, I'm telling you, I'm going to find a pellet stove for under $200. And I thought, okay. But I know that with Jeff, when he says he's going to do something by God, he does it all the time. He's able to do it. He sees it. He knows in his heart he can do it. And he found this pellet stove that a teacher from the Votech had. And I think it was $300 or $350. And he went and he spoke to this man. And the man allowed him to pay $200 and then do some work around his house. I think he had to put caulking around windows or change out storm windows to be able to pay for the rest of the pellet stove. He told me he was going to be able to find this pellet stove for $200, and he did. And we had that pellet stove for 10 or 15 years in our old house, and then we sold it to a friend of ours when we moved into another house that we rented. But then when we moved into the school, this friend of ours was moving and she was selling it. So we ended up buying it back. So we had this pellet stove for probably 15 or 20 years. This pellet stove was manifested. The universe said, this pellet stove is yours. Now, that pellet stove has seen better days and it is no longer with us, but now we have another one. But he's able to manifest what the family needed. He put his heart and soul into it. He prayed about it. He knew he could do it and he did it. You can manifest. This is how manifesting works. You're creating that vision for the future. You're putting the time and the energy in it. You trust the process. You believe in the dream. You believe that it will become reality. And you align your thoughts and your actions behind it. So the card says you will manifest what you need. And up at the top it says, from Archangel Michael to you. How's it say? Your town, planet Earth. Okay, so it's believing that this package will arrive. It's believing this this thing will arrive because of the positive actions that you have behind it. You've manifested it. You've created it out of a thought, out of a plan, out of prayer, out of believing, and it will appear. So, how do you want to do this? You want to uncover what it means to you. So the pellet stove meant heat in the house, keeping my kids warm. It meant not having to buy the expensive oil so that we could purchase something else. What does it mean to you? If I receive this, what will it mean to me? Dig deep. Like, what will it mean? It just doesn't mean that we had heat in the house. It meant that my family would be more comfortable around the pellet stove. It meant creating memories in the family room, around this heat. It's just a stove, but it meant so much more to us. It meant not being concerned as much about money because of how am I going to heat my house. So how do you ask? Are you asking boldly? Are you being wimpy? My husband said to me, I will find us a pellet stove for under $200. And he meant it. Like eye to eye, he said this. He didn't say to me, well, hopefully I'll be able to search and maybe find someone who's willing to do this. He looked me in the square in the eye and said, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to find it. This is what he does. Do you believe or do you hope? He believed and he succeeded. So then you need to take action. So you can't just state it and then not take action behind it. You have to do the work behind it. So what's holding you back? What's making you not manifest? What's stopping your dreams from coming true? Is it worry? Is it fear? Is it anxiety? Is it not knowing where to start? So it's taking action. What will bring this closer to you? So it's thinking what the process is. What is the very first thing that I need to do? And there are times, sorry if I'm talking quickly, I feel like I'm talking quickly. There are times if there is an outcome that I need to receive or I need to do, I will think it backwards. So, me doing a gallery reading, we're doing a gallery benefit for the Brandon Tolson Foundation. It's in my events, but it's a benefit for the Brandon Tolson Foundation, which is a foundation that helps parents who lose children. I've been doing readings for the Brandon Foundation for several years. And all of a sudden, maybe a month ago or so, I said to Denise, I feel like I need to do a, a benefit for them. All proceeds for this event go to the Brandon Tolson Foundation. So I had to visualize the stage. I had to visualize people at the event purchasing tickets. There's a certain dollar amount in my head that I want to be able to donate to the Brandon Tolson Foundation, but I had to work it backwards. Who do I need to be there? You know, working it even further backwards. How do I reach these people? Further backwards, discussing it with Denise, who kind of keeps me planted when my ideas are kind of crazy or all over the place. She's very good at helping me to say one step at a time. I think backwards, she thinks forward, so we work really well together. It's creating the event. It was talking to the Brandon Tolson Foundation to see if they were even interested in us doing this. It's creating the event on Facebook or on my website. It's talking to my virtual assistant who creates my events, you know, to create them, to make it look inviting. And it's having that mindset within my heart to know that this is something that I need to do to benefit others, to help others in this situation. And I know that it's going to be successful, because if I didn't feel like it was going to be successful, I wouldn't be able to look at it backwards and know where I'm going and what I'm doing. So I had to take those actions, right? I had to visualize it. I am very visual. I have to visualize what it's going to look like and how it's going to happen, okay, in order to bring this to fruition. And then it's celebrating those steps that I'm taking. So it's, you know, saying to Denise, you know, hey, this is what I'm feeling. And she's like, absolutely, I've been feeling this for a while. Validation number one. Then it's getting in touch with the foundation. They're like, absolutely, let's do this. Validation number two. Getting a venue that is not priced over a certain amount. We got that. Validation number three. Being able to create the storyboard for it. Validation number four. So it all falls into place. And no sooner did I post it than instantly like 3 tickets sold. And then the 4th ticket sold. So I know we're going to fill this up and we're going to do a really good thing for the Brandon Tolson Foundation. Make sense? So I'm manifesting this to help parents who have lost their children. It's not about me, it's about them. So it's doing service to others. And I know that I said, you know, you don't want to like brag about it, but this is a totally different thing. And I'm not really bragging about it because I didn't say what the dollar amount was that I wanted to donate, but I know that we're going to get there. Make sense? So it's celebrating those steps, Maybe have a vision journal or a manifestation journal, a validation journal. Oh my goodness, this happened. This happened. Because you can't make this stuff up. Sometimes the universe will just put people in your path that you can help, or put people in your path that can help you. It's those God winks, those blessings that you are giving to others and that others are giving to you in order to manifest what you need to have the best life ever. So celebrate your steps. Now, does anxiety creep in? Absolutely. Acknowledge it and release it. Fear, acknowledge it, release it. Self-doubt, acknowledge it, release it. Every time I get up on stage before I do a reading or even a private reading, it pops into my head. What if I can't do this? What if nobody pops in? What if no spirit comes in? What if it's quiet? So that fear and that anxiety comes up. I'm sure professional baseball players get up to the base and they think, what if I strike out? But it's thinking, what if I don't? I'm not going to strike out. It's allowing myself to say, okay, God, this is you. This is not me. I cannot do this without you. You've got to calm my nerves and allow me to see how this is going to happen. So I'm going to celebrate my steps, and I'm going to put my energy into the celebration instead of my energy into the fear, into anxiety, into failure. It's moving forward, visualizing and seeing that. Excuse me. I'm talking a lot. Figure out what these things are that are overpowering you and that are stopping you. And when you figure that out, you can break that barrier. Maybe you had someone tell you all your life that you're not good enough. Maybe you had someone take things away from you. You created something and then all of a sudden it was taken from you. Find those fears. Dig deep. That's part of shadow work. And overcome that. That was then. This is now. This is what I've learned. I'm not going to allow this to stop me. I'm going to bust through this and do this the best way that I can to benefit the universe, to serve others, to please God and the universe, to be a blessing to others, not for ego. I mean, you can manifest a Maserati if you want to, but then why did you really want that? Ego? Think about that. The secret is thinking positively, but putting positive action behind it. You can think positive for as long as you want to, but if you don't make an action behind it, all it is a thought. So you have to have positive action behind it. I get so annoyed at entitlement. I worked hard for what I have. A lot of people work hard for what they have. You're not entitled to something that you don't work for. If you need me to help you work through it and show you how, let me know. If I don't know how, I'll find somebody that does. But you've got to work for it, because if you don't work for it, then it doesn't mean anything, and then you don't take care of it. Make sense? So stay grounded or get grounded. So if you're not grounded, think about how to get grounded. And being grounded is finding the balance between the thought process, the action process, and actually doing it and seeing it to the end. Not quitting, not giving up, not feeling defeated, but fighting for what you believe you need. Fighting for what you believe that you can give to the universe, to be of service to others, to help others for the greater good. Speak it, write it down, repeat it as needed. If you're overthinking it, then it's going to be worry. And there's a difference between manifesting and overthinking. So if you're manifesting it, you're constantly thinking of how I can do this. Whew, I can do this. If you're worrying, you're thinking, oh my God, how can I do this? And then there's anxiety that comes with it. So find the balance between the two. Visualize it. Visualize yourself crossing that finish line with it in your hands. You know, college students who graduate, who never had anyone in their family go to college. They figured it out. They didn't quit. Business owners who didn't really know what they were doing, but they had this vision and then they did this. Builders who, have this vision of this house. They build it. They figure it out. Inventors, it starts with a thought. And then they manifest it to happen because they put the work in. So when Archangel Michael is saying to me, you will manifest what you need, it's me believing that what I need will be given to me when I need it. Here's what I'm manifesting. Here's what I believe that I need. And I'm speaking it and I'm visualizing it. And sometimes I'll say, if this is not the path that you want me on, show me why and take me on another path, that I can help others, that I can do this. But it really has to be good if this is not where I'm supposed to be, especially if it's my mind, my body, and my spirit saying, this is what I have to do. Okay? So express gratitude. Be grateful for the little things. They're lessons. You're either teaching them or you're teaching others. But be grateful for the lessons, for the hard knocks. The things that I've been through in my life, and we've all been through something. We all have those traumas or dramas or BS in our past. But I overcame it. I'm not going to let that stop me. And for the longest time, I left it stop me for the fear of not being good enough, for the fear of failure, for someone to say to me, told you couldn't do that. That's where my mind was. I didn't want to hear that from family and friends. I can't believe you even tried that. Good God. Instead, they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you did this. For a very long time when I was a kid, I always thought that I would write a book. And I started writing books, probably 30 years ago. I would start and I would stop and I would start and I would stop. Because then I thought to myself, who's going to want to read my book? What do I have to say? Why am I special? Why do people want to hear my story? But then all of a sudden, I got this urge a couple years ago. I guess it's been 4 years ago. The book's been out for 3. That through the readings that I've done with my clients, there were certain questions that were always asked. And I had answers that came from Spirit, that came from God. That I thought, I need to do a 30-day grief recovery journal. My head knows, but my heart still hurts. And I did it. And I got this book published. And then when the book was published, the first thing I thought was, oh my God, what are people going to think when they read this? Is it going to make sense? Or are they going to go, this is the dumbest book I've ever read? We've all read, I'm a reader. If you're a reader, you understand. I've read books that I'm thinking, God, I can't even get past the first chapter. There's grammatical errors in this. It doesn't make sense. Why would you even write this book? I was reflecting on my past thought process on certain books and thought, oh God, what if this is my book? What if people don't want to come into the shop? What if, and being an evidential medium, I get a lot of positive reinforcement from those loved ones who are still on this side of this earth, that I've helped them walk through the healing to know that their loved one is only a whisper away. But I also receive several negative comments that what I do is evil and wrong. And it used to bother me. I used to feel like I needed to prove them wrong. But then I thought to myself, I'm in a good place with who I am and what I do. It's on them. They're entitled to their own opinions. I'm not for everybody, and that's fine. But I needed to get to that point in my life where I didn't care what other people said. I was going to do where my heart was led, where I felt God and the universe were taking me. I had to overcome that obstacle. And I can still remember my mom saying to me, what will the neighbors think? And I would say to her, I don't care what the neighbors think. But I genuinely did care what other people thought. Is that ego? I don't know. But I'm to the point now, I don't care what other people think. My goal is to bless as many people as possible, to give them hope and know that there is an afterlife, that God does exist, that he's shining his light on you, and that you are loved. And I want to manifest that in the world, that you are not alone and that you are loved. And every night, when I'm meditating, I visualize putting, light around the universe, taking those that feel like they're in bondage out of bondage, knowing that they're not alone. I'm sending help to them and healing to them. But I also want to heal the world, because the world right now is kind of Do I blame this or blame that? I try not to. It's prophecy. This is what God said would happen. So my goal is to be as loving and as caring and as strong for myself, for my family, and for others as I can be. I want to visualize a world where love is number one instead of hate. Does this make sense? I feel like I was on a little bit of a soapbox. I wasn't even looking at comments, but I do see that there are some comments there. A friend of mine put on there, this was my journey. Wowza. And it's funny, my mom always said wowza. So, to me, that's a God wink from my mom, saying wowza. Who says wowza? Here, my friend said it. Mom's going, here, I'm here. Tuesday Talks at 10:30 starts at 10:30. So yes, you're late, but you know what? You can watch the replay. You can always watch the replay. But what do you want to manifest? What do you need in your life? Where is your heart pulling you, pushing you? Maybe you're being pushed to do something. I never thought of myself as a teacher, but I've taken on students to mentor. And I can remember very clearly the night I was, going to bed in the RV. It was the first night we had Alice, and we were trying Alice out. That was the name of our first IV. In our parking lot at the shop to see how the heat worked, the lights worked. But we slept in that at night. And I remember my guides, God, Archangel Michael, whomever you want to say, to me, it was my guides and God that would not let me go to sleep until I agreed to mentor students to allow them to open up to their gifts. And I remember saying, okay, I will do this, but you've got to give it to me. And all of a sudden I needed to find notebook and paper, and I started writing, and the whole class just came to me, and I was able to do that. So what are you manifesting? What are you being pulled to do? What are you being pushed to do? Think about it. Dig deep. Find out how it will feel, what it will look like. Visualize it. Create a vision board. Note your progress. Change the way you think. Stop talking negatively about yourself. Surround yourself in positive people and positive things. Be grateful for the things that you do have. But let's manifest, because you will manifest what you need. Express gratitude as if plans are already come to pass. Trust that your angels are bringing you the assistance that you need. Ask, put the people in my path that I need that will help me. Show me where I need to be. And make sure when you show me that I don't miss it. And if I miss it, show it to me again. But put that manifestation, speak it in a way that you mean it. Well, maybe, hopefully, someday I'll be able to run into someone who can possibly help me do whatever it is that you want to do. This is what I feel like I need to do, Lord. Show me how to do it. Guide me in the steps. Put the people in my path that can help me. And I will stand firm in knowing that this will happen, because I can see it. I can feel it. I know it to be true. Make sense? Okay. So this is Tuesday Talks at 10:30, where I come to you every Tuesday and we talk about things like this. Manifesting, meditation, grief, death and dying, how to find a medium, what to do on a spiritual walk. Now, I don't have all the answers. What I give you is what's given to me. So if there's a particular subject you would like me to talk about, put it in the notes or private message me for next Tuesday or the following Tuesday, and I will work on manifesting a Tuesday Talks at 10:30 on that. So as always, my fellow connectors to Spirit with Stacy, I pray that you are living the life you love and you are loving the life you live. If not, manifest it. Speak it. Know it. Do it. All right, guys. I will talk to you next Tuesday at 10:30. Peace out. I love you.